everybody, welcome back to my channel. I forgot to film an intro for this video, so we are just jumping right in. This video is going to be how to do a warm honey blonde. I get requested this all the time because most of the time on my channel and on my Instagram, I am doing the white blondes because that's so in right now. But you know, we need to remember that honey warm blondes are just as beautiful. So I figured I would do a video on this. So I am always starting around her hairline because I like to do those bright money pieces, make it really super bright and blonde around her face. So I want those to process longer. So as you can see right now, I'm just going to go around and frame her face using slices and baby lights. And this is just going to give that sun-kissed appearance. Okay, and now that I'm done doing all of the face framing foils, I'm going to start working up towards her part. And for these first few foils around the ear, I like to use my board because it's a little easier to maneuver. Plus I have all those foils up front and it's kind of hard to fit in between the back foils and the front foils. So those first two foils, I always use my board to give me a little more control, and it kind of helps me get closer to the root as well. And we are going all the way up to the root on this client, no root smudge, but I will be doing a few different toning techniques on her, so I'm excited to show you guys those. And since we are wanting to bring in those warm tones into her hair, I am actually doing the highlights with Goldwell Oxycur bleach and 20 volume, and then I'm also doing a low light every 3 or 4 foils, and that is Goldwell Colorance 7G with just a tiny bit of 7N. I really wanted to have those warm low lights because that's the look we're going for. So about every 3 or 4 foils, I just did the low lights throughout, and then I just kind of kept that pattern until I get to the top of the head.
You control the dark, the atmosphere. You hold my heart, you break these fears. 'Cause you align with all the rhythms inside me. You can unwind me. I got a heart shaped holding me. You're the center of my galaxy. The inner space in me that never stops dreaming, never stops feeling.
So I am just continuing my weaving pattern going up using the Goldwell bleach and the Goldwell low light, and I am using baby lights very fine sections. And then I wanted to show you guys right here, when I reach this part of the head, just that very last section, I'm not going to be doing any more low lights, just highlights from this point on, and that is just so the low lights don't get chunky or stripy looking. I like the top of the face or the top of the head and around the face to look very bright and natural, and then I like the low lights to be throughout the rest of the hair. Right here is a little trick I have. When you need to lighten the ends, but not too much because they're already pre-lightened, I will take my bleach, feather it through the ends, and then I will kick it out of the foil, as you can see me doing right here. And that way they have the lightener on them, but they're not processing in the foil, so they won't get too hot. And then I just comb through it, so this is going to open the cuticle, but not damage the hair. Okay, and the highlights are about done processing. As you can see, they're not white blonde, they still have a bit of a yellow tone, so that is perfect since we are wanting to go for a warmer blonde. I don't necessarily need to lift her out all the way to white. So now here we are mixing up the toner, and I am doing 3 different things. Right here I am using Redken Shades EQ 8N, and I am doing that equal parts with the processing solution, and this is for tapping out her root area. And this second toner formula is 1 ounce of 8V by itself with 1 ounce of processing solution. And for the last toner formula, I am doing Shades EQ once again, 8GI, 7NB, 7NW. And this is going to give us that perfect warm honey tone. I love Shades EQ so much. I could go on and on about them. They are so great. I love them for all my toning purposes. And these 3 toners together give that perfect warm honey blonde. And I'm so excited for you guys to see. Okay, so now we are ready to rinse out. As you can see, she got to a nice yellow blonde, and we will take care of that right away. So I am just rinsing out her lightener right now, and then I'm going to maxi wash her, which is Kevin Murphy's clarifying shampoo. And I always do this to every client. I maxi wash their bleach out before I tone because I really want to get all of the residue out, all of the color out, and have a nice blank canvas to tone with. So that's what I'm doing here. And then after I maxi wash her, I'm going to cover all of her ends in Olaplex. I don't do any of the tops, just the mid shaft and ends, so that her ends can sit in that Olaplex treatment while she is processing. Okay, and I am actually pre-toning before I do her root tap, so I'm just taking that straight 8V and working it through her root just to cancel out any warmth in her root area before I do the 8N. That way when her 8N fades out, we are going to have a nice soft blonde underneath instead of it fading out back to that yellow blonde. Her ends are now getting covered in an Olaplex treatment, and then I'm going to walk you guys through how I do my root smudge. And this isn't necessarily a root smudge, actually. This is more of a root tap, and this isn't going any darker on the root. She wants to be pretty light all the way up, but I just want to kind of softly tap those highlight lines so that it's a really soft, natural look and not stripy looking. So I sit her up and I take my wet brush, I brush through all the tangles, and then I take my wide tooth comb, part her off, and I always just do a part down the middle, and I work my tap or my root smudge all the way up, because this way she can part her hair either way and it's even on either side. So I am just taking my root tap, which is the 8N in Shades EQ, and as you can see here, it's just a slight tap. That's why I call it root tapping. I just tap, tap, tap on her root to blur any lines, and this isn't necessarily being dragged down. And then as you can see on this side, I'm just tapping, tapping, tapping. I like to start around the perimeter at the top of the head, and then I go down towards the ear and work my way back up. And then I tap her money pieces very last. After I finish applying her root smudge or root tap, I take my comb and I just comb through it. And this way it just blurs it all together so it never looks like a harsh line. Because if you leave it on long enough and you don't comb it through, it totally can. So make sure you comb. So now that I am done with that, I am just taking what's left over of that 8N that I used on her root, and I'm just going to actually work it in, and I'm massaging it from the roots down to her ends. And I'm going to let this all sit together for about 5 to 7 minutes, probably 5 for her hair. And then once that's all done sitting, I am taking that third toner formula, the 8GI, 7NB, 7NW, and working it through the rest of the hair. I left the root and the other 8N on, and I'm just working it all together. And you guys, I just have to give a little ode to Shades EQ. I freaking love them. Redken can do no wrong. I love all their colors, love their bleach, love their toners. I would die without my Shades EQ. I have just realized after using so many different products and brands that I am a Redken girl for life. So I'm sure a lot of you already use Shades EQ, but if you don't, I promise you, you will never go wrong toning with it. Even if you don't need to counteract any tones, it adds shine to the hair, it adds dimension, it gives your colors longevity. I don't know, I just love it, and I'm sorry to ramble, but I just had to tell you guys how much I freaking love Shades EQ. Alright, so we are now just blow drying her and her color is almost done, and we are actually going to be putting in clip-ins into her hair. We are using my clip-ins in color Jen, and fun little fact, she is actually the real life Jen that the color was named after. She is my cousin, so I named the Jen after her. So we wanted to match her hair to the extensions, and she actually modeled in the photo shoot we did a few months back for the hair extension line, and she modeled the color Jen. So I will throw in a few of those pictures too, because her hair was a beautiful honey blonde then, but she did have a root smudge for the photo shoot, and we just wanted to bring her blondes up a little higher this time. So as you can see right here, I am just putting her clip-ins in, and this is just another little thing you can do to give your clients extra body length, fullness. We actually cut her extensions just 2 or 3 inches longer than her hair, so they're not overwhelming and no one ever knows she has extensions when she wears them, but they do give her a little extra fullness and length, and it's super fun to have. So if you have a client who doesn't want to commit to permanent extensions, clip-ins are a great option. Thank you guys so much for watching. Leave your comments and thoughts below like always. I will also have any products I used, outfits I wore, anything like that linked in the description box below, as well as my website. So if you are interested in buying hair extensions, whether it's clip-ins, tape-ins, wefts, anything like that, I have that linked in my description box below as well. And I also just started a blog, so my blog is on my website too. So if you would like to check that out, please do. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. Have a good day.